Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. In the last chapter, Yudhishthira asked Arjuna various questions, fearing the bad omens he saw, and Arjuna also had grown lean and thin because of his separation from Sri Krishna. So now Arjuna starts to answer with these shlokas, which are also called Arjuna Vilapa, where he recalls all the time spent with Sri Krishna, the favors he did to them, and his friendship with him. He says, Vanchitoham Maharaja Harina Bandhurupina. O Maharaja, I have been deceived by Sri Hari, who appeared in the form of Bandhu, a friend to me. Yena me apahritam tejaha, who has now robbed me of my tejas, valor, since he has left me and went back to Vaikuntha. He says, when Drupada conducted the Swayamvara of Draupadi to outshine the princes that had assembled there, it was I alone, because of the might and grace of Krishna, was able to string the bow and hit the revolving fish, and in this way I was able to win Draupadi's hand. Next, once when I was with Sri Krishna, Agni came, looking like a Brahman, and asked, I am hungry, can you give me something? We had agreed, and then he came in his real Agni form and explained, a king called Shvetaki did a long yagam in which I had to consume so much of ghee that I am suffering from indigestion. That's why there is a forest called Khandava Vanam, in which there are many herbs and many snakes too. Only if I consume all that, my indigestion can be cured. So please help me getting Khandava Vanam. That forest belonged to Indra. Arjuna recalls, just because I was in the Sannidhi of Sri Krishna, I was able to give that forest to Agni to burn it up, and as a result of which I had to fight against Indra and was even able to win against him. In that forest, there lived an Asura called Maya, who was like an architect for Rakshasas. He asked for help from me to save him from fire. I was able to save him, who in return built and gave a wonderful sabha or chamber, Labdha Sabha Maya Krita Adbhuta Shilpa Maya. He goes on to say, it was by his might that Bhimasena, possessing the strength of 10,000 elephants, succeeded in slaying the cruel Jarasandha. In his desire to become a Chakravarti, he had believed and planned to vanquish kings and offer their heads to Mahabhairava, who was the chief of the attendants of Lord Shiva. So he had imprisoned many kings, who were then set free by Bhima and killed Jarasandha. This was done because of Krishna's insistence, so that your Rajasuya Yagya happens without obstacles. In Rajasuya Yagam, your wife Draupadi sat along with you and received Mahabhishekam, making her hair pure with that holy water. Shlaghishta Charu Kabaram, praiseworthy and beautiful hair she had. That hair of Draupadi was Kitavai Sabhayam, snatched and dragged to that Sabha, open court, by miscreants like Dushasana. When she was falling down, she thought of Sri Krishna. She imagined herself falling on his feet, and she washed his feet with her tears. Sri Krishna, angered by this ill treatment of Draupadi, whoever was present in that sabha who sat without opposing this, he finished them all and made their wives losing their hair, Vimukta Keshaha. In the next verse, he remembers an incident. When Pandavas were in Vanavasa, once Duryodhana hatched a plan and showed great hospitality to sage Durvasa. Pleased by him, the sage asked him to ask for a boon. Taking this opportunity, he persuaded him with his 10,000 disciples to seek the hospitality of Yudhishthira too, who was in the forest. His cruel plan being Yudhishthira will not be able to feed so many people, and as a result of which he will incur the curse of Durvasa Maharshi, who was so popular for giving curses. Now, at the time when Pandavas were going to forest, many people in the kingdom, not willing to stay under Duryodhana, also followed them to live in the forest. So, to sustain the lives of all those people, Yudhishthira did penance for sun god and attained an Akshay Patra to feed all the people. You can take all the chappan bhog from it, But there's a condition. After feeding everyone, in the end, after Draupadi also eats from it, she should wash it and it would not produce any more food till the next day. So on that particular day, as requested by Duryodhana, Durvasa Rishi visited them with his 10,000 disciples after everyone ate and after Draupadi washed that vessel. Now Durvasa Rishi met Yudhishthira and asked them to get food ready, and he proceeded with his Shishyas to the river bank to take a dip and do prayers. Worried Draupadi, in her deep agony, invoked Krishna. At the very moment he appeared there, what did he do? Yono Jugopa, such a big trouble he just removed with his hands. Not hands, just with a finger. How? He said, Draupadi, you called me while I had Rukmini Devi on my lap. I pushed her and came to you immediately. I didn't have time to even have my meal and I'm so hungry, so please give me something to eat. Now Draupadi felt so overwhelmed with gratitude at the Bhagwan's unique grace in asking her for food, even though he sustained the whole universe. But she pleaded helplessness as there was nothing left in the kitchen. But he reminded her, you have that Akshay Patra, isn't it? Bring it to me. Let me have a look. Some remnants would be there, still there. Draupadi brought that vessel before him, and out of a clean vessel he was able to find Shakanna Shishtam, one small vegetable piece and small rice piece, because only rice you should not serve. So he carefully found both attached and had it. As soon as he ate and wished that Yatastrilokim Tripta Mamansta, let everyone in the three worlds get tripti or satisfied with this food I ate. And immediately the students and Durvasa Muni who were taking a dip in the river, by the time they came out of water, their stomach felt so full that they felt even one more piece of grain they can't think of consuming. They were worried of going back to Yudhishthira, who would have kept the food ready. Thinking this, they just disappeared from there. So Arjuna says, what happened there was Ari Rachitat, plan made by enemy Durvasasaha of Durvasa Muni, Duranta Kritrad, which was a huge trouble to overcome. From that kind of trouble, Krishna very easily helped us out. Then next, during this Vanavasa, Arjuna was encouraged to get Pashupatastra. To get Pashupatastra, Lord Shiva had to get pleased. To please Lord Shiva is both easy and hard. Hard because if you don't have honesty in your heart, whatever you offer him, he doesn't care. Easy if you have that honesty and pure bhakti in your heart, he is a Bhola Shankar, will give whatever you ask for. So Arjuna, according to his guru's advice, he performed tapas. Shiva appeared in form of a hunter named Kirata to test him. They had a small war there. Arjuna fought with righteousness and honesty. To win with Shiva, is it possible for anyone? If he strikes one blow with his Trishula, who can withstand? Only one person is there who can withstand it, and that is Krishna. He only gave me that strength. Yat Tejasa Atha Bhagavan Yudhi Shulapanihi. That Shulapanihi himself got Vismapitaha, amused. He came along with Parvati Devi, Sagirija. Why did she come? What if by mistake this Bhola Shankar hits a little forcefully and Arjuna gets hurt? So she came as a security for Arjuna, as a mother. She also got amused by his valor. So he says, with that amusement and wonder struck with my valor, that Lord Shiva, Astra Madat, gave that Pashupatastra to me. Then Indra got so happy that I was born of his ray, fought and won over even Lord Shiva. So he took me with this very physical body to Swarga, which is not possible for anyone. There I went to the chamber of Mahendra, and there I was able to share the throne of Indra in this very body. All this was possible only because of Anugraha of that Krishna. And while I was enjoying a holiday in the Swarga, Indra and other gods sought the help of my powerful arms for destruction of their enemies called Nivata Kavachas and other demons. I was able to win over them just because of Krishna Anugraham. O Dharmaraja, tenaha madhya mushitaha purushena. By that Mahapurushena, I stand cheated today. Then he remembered, I had found a more difficult situation than what I faced in the Swarga while we were in Ajnatavasa. When we had to stay hidden in Ajnatavasa, Duryodhana almost found that we were in Virata kingdom. So in order to get us out of that hiding, he came for war in that kingdom with his full army and stole all the cows which were like abundant wealth for King Virata, with the plan that we Pandavas come out of hiding to fight it. Duryodhana had got his numbers wrong. He thought that still 1 day is left for our Ajnatavasa to get over, but in fact, to that day, 1 year was over. When I came out to fight, I had to face a huge army, including even Bhishma and Karna, which was an impossible task for anyone, and I was alone. Aham eko rathena tatare atarya sattvam. Me alone in my chariot was able to cross over that invincible force. How I won? Yat Bandhavaha, my Bandhu, that Paramatma, because of his help, without any bloodshed I won that battle. Because of his grace, I remembered Sammohanastram, using which that whole army slept in their chariots. Then I recovered the Godhanam, the cattle back, and also took their glorious turbans as a symbol of victory. And moreover, there was a young girl called Uttara whom I was teaching dance to during that 1 year of incognito. She had asked me to get the precious stones and gems from their turbans so that she can make beautiful robes for her dolls. That was also a reason why I brought back all their turbans. It was made possible by that Bandhavaha, Sri Krishna. In the real battle of Kurukshetra, keeping in front of me as a charioteer, as I stood face to face with the armies, then what he did? Ratha Yuthapanam Ayuhu Manansi Saha Ojaha Archat. He stole away the lifespan, the heart as well as the strength and vigor of all the warriors. After that, I was just nimitta matram. Even if I used simple arrows, they were getting finished very easily. Securely placed as I was in his arms on his shoulders, the powerful arrows hurled at me by Drona, Bhishma, Karna, Shalya, Jayadratha and other did not even touch my body. Similarly, as the weapons of the demons of Hiranyakashipu did not touch or bother Prahlada, who is a Haridasa. I regret that I was so stupid that I chose him to be my charioteer. I used him to be just my Sarathi, whereas noble souls worship his Padapadmam, his lotus feet, for exemption from birth and death. Then he remembers the jokes of Sri Krishna brightened by his charming smiles and how he used to call me by different names. Hey Partha, hey Arjuna, hey Sakha. And now when I think of all that, it stirs my heart to its very depth. Since we treated each other on an equal footing, sitting together, eating together, and I occasionally also teased him, but yet he put up with all my faults like a father bears the faults of his son. Now bereft of that supreme person, my beloved friend, I am left without a heart. Now I realize that I am nothing without Krishna. I realized this on my way back while escorting the wives of Sri Krishna. A few cowherds came and won over me. I had the same Gandiva bow, the same chariot, drew my same horses. I am the same warrior before whom the monarchs bowed their head. But bereft of Krishna, all these were reduced to nothingness in a moment, just like we pour oblations into fire that is extinguished, just as service done with some motive and the seed sown in a barren land. All this is of no use. Like that, everything belonging to me and I myself am nothing without that Krishna. Then he says, "Oh brother, you had asked about welfare of Yadavas in Dwaraka. What can I say about it? It's very sad that due to a Brahmana's curse, they all lost their intellect due to intoxication. They fought with each other and destroyed themselves. Only 4 or 5 Yadus are left. It's one of his Leela, I think. Like larger among the aquatic creatures kill the smaller ones, the stronger consumes the weaker, and the larger and stronger ones eat up one another. Like that, Bhagavan caused the powerful princes to be exterminated by the most powerful Yadus, and then had Yadus kill the Yadus themselves, since they had now grown to be a burden to the earth. Now Suta says, as Arjuna was thus contemplating continuously on Sri Krishna's lotus feet with most intense devotion, his mind became tranquil and free from passion, and he recollected the Upadesha in the form of Bhagavad Gita given by Bhagavan to him in the war. The curtain of Maya withdrawn from him, he realized Brahma. His astral body was dissolved and he was finally rid of sorrow and secured immunity from cycle of life and death. Now Kunti Devi, who was listening to all this, she immediately sat down for meditation and forgot the whole world. Yudhishthira also wanted to leave the world immediately, because the very moment Krishna had left the earth, that very moment Kali Yuga had entered, and he already saw the signs of Kali Yuga as discussed in the previous chapter. So he immediately coronated Parikshit in Hastinapura as the king and Aniruddha's son Vajra as the king in Mathura. So now Yudhishthira gave up all the feelings of I and mine. He gave up worldly pleasures, his attachment for his body. He controlled his speech, his mind, and his life breath. He wore a bark and started walking towards the northern direction, and all the Pandavas also followed Yudhishthira, and with deep meditation on Krishna's feet, they attained the most highest state. Draupadi also sat in meditation and merged with Krishna, and Vidura also went to Prabhasa Kshetram and shed his body and regained his original state as Yama, the god of death. In the end, the last shloka of this chapter is Phalashruti, which says those who listen to this most auspicious and holy Swargarohanam of Pandavas, they would attain devotion to Lord Hari and attain the highest state, which is liberation. With this ends the 15th chapter of Book 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.